Two of the better defensive teams in the entire country will meet up on Friday night. This is Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. Going to head to the Big East Conference. The Georgetown Hoyas versus the Cincinnati Bearcats at Fifth Third Arena in Cincinnati. Not very surprising with the early odds movement, with Cincinnati opening up as 4.5-point favorites. That number has been knocked down to as low as 3 in the betting market, while the total sits at 117 as I shoot this early Friday morning from the city of Las Vegas. When you look at the Hoyas, the hottest team in the Big East Conference, 6-0 straight up an ATS run. That includes a 63-55 victory over the Marquette Golden Eagles as 5-point home favorites on Monday night. 69% of this team's minutes have gone towards freshmen and sophomores in their lineup. So this team is really growing up at the right time as we head into deep in the conference play, conference tournaments, and also probably the NCAA tournament. Held 15 of 22 opponents under 60 points this season, 55.7 points per game for opponents. That ranks 7th nationally, and they've held 8 of their last 9 opponents to under 40% shooting, 37.8% defensive field goal percentage for the entire season, but they really meet their match in this one in terms of the fact that Cincinnati holds opponents to 38% shooting. 0-4 straight up and against the spread in the last 4 meetings in the series. That includes a 72-70 overtime loss in last year's Big East Conference tournament matchup. 3-2 ATS as road underdogs of 3.5 to 6 points in their last 5 tries in that situation, with the under going 4-1 in that situation. Snapped a 2-game losing streak, the Cincinnati Bearcats last time out, a 68-50 victory over Villanova as 7.5-point home favorites. This team has gone under the total in 9 of the last 10 games, so definitely a defensive battle, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. They've held Big East opponents to 12.9 points less than their season average. They are led by an offensive trio. It's not all defense for this team. They do have some offensive scorers, led by a trio of Sean Kilpatrick, Jaquan Parker, and Kashmir Wright. Those 3 account for 59.6% of this team's scoring and 85% of their 3-point makes. Kilpatrick is really playing his best from the offensive side of the floor over his last 7 games, averaging 20.7 points per game. He averages 18 for the entire season. 10-6 straight up in their last 16 games against ranked opponents. And Cincinnati, from a betting perspective and from a market perspective, I can't really say to take the points or lay the points in this one. But from a market perspective, I like the total. And the thing that I circled when handicapping this game, Cincinnati hasn't had a betting total of 119.5 or less since at least the 1996 season. And this team's had some very good defensive teams over that span. So I think we're at the basement level in terms of total wagering, and I think the public is definitely going to go towards those under trends that both these teams have been putting up over the last 10 games. So I'm going to pick over 117 in Friday night's game between the Georgetown Hoyas and Cincinnati Bearcats at Fifth Third Arena. For any further information on this game or any other on the Friday night board, definitely follow me on Twitter at Jeff Grant Sports. This has been another edition of Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com.